Welcome to Jackie Land. Yeah.
Hi friends, I'm on my way home from work and today was a pretty good day. It was productive. There was a lot to do. The kids were not the best. We had some issues at karate, and the middle one who we're trying to work on lying, he lied today, and so he got in a lot of trouble for that. And it went pretty fast. I've been loving my book though. I've read like 150 pages in it. I'm on the 7th chapter, which I think is like halfway through, because I think it's a 14 chapter book. But like honestly, for me, that is so much because I usually don't really read, and when I do read, I read very, very slow. So honestly, it's like a huge deal that I've been reading that much, and it's a really good book. I think it's called The Vegas Diaries, which is by Holly Madison. If you don't know, she doesn't have the best background. She used to be one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends, and she was on the show Girls Next Door, and she had her own spin-off show, Holly's World, and she's headlined in Vegas in the show Peep Show, and which is a burlesque, not a like strip thing, and she's just kind of fascinating to me, and it's so intriguing because although she's done super like risque things in her life and has lived not the most I don't want to say, I don't know how to word it, you know, she's lived a lifestyle that most people are like, oh my gosh, but yet she's such like a sweet girl. She's from Alaska, from a small town, and she's a very like outdoorsy type of girl, and well, kind of, I just mean like she's just like a hometown good girl, and she just got caught up in like a scene that was going to take her to be famous, which honestly a lot of people in Hollywood got caught up in that. They come from a small town and they wanted to go somewhere big and do something big, and a lot of times to get into that world you have to do some things that you maybe wouldn't have done before, and it's interesting because I've read her first book too, which is why I was interested in this book. Her first one was Down the Rabbit Hole, which is a play off of Alice in Wonderland, and obviously she talks a lot about like living in the mansion and her relationship with Hef and where she started before that, and then how she broke out of that relationship and trying to find herself again. She ended up getting in another hugely profiled relationship with oh, now I'm gonna forget his name, the headlining show as a magician at the Luxor in Las Vegas. She got herself into a relationship with him pretty soon after Hef, and they had very similar traits in being very very controlling and very not physically abusive, but very much abusive. So it's just kind of crazy to see from her perspective what she's been through, how she got there, how she got out of it. Just like, I don't know, her life is just intriguing to me, as are a lot of celebrities. They live a lifestyle that I don't agree with, and I would not want for myself, but yet is very much, I don't know, I've said this so many times, I'm really into like what got people where they are, like psychology, and like where they came from and how it morphed into what it is, and the backstory of things, and I don't know, it's just pretty cool. So, and I mean, it's a book, so she talks about things, but it's not like super risque, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's very cool. I'm like halfway through, and it's awesome because the oldest kid, he's super into reading right now. He's on a reading track where he actually won like a competition already. Well, I don't know if it was a competition, but it was like something where he read a certain number of pages within a certain amount of time, and he won like tons of stuff. Like, he won gift cards, he won karate classes, which is what he's now doing with his brothers. He won movie tickets, he won something else too. Like, a whole thing, like a lot of stuff. I'm like, dang. He told me today, he's like, you know, Miss Jackie, there's an adult reading club too. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like make the cut of how much you have to read to do that. I was like, boy, I know you see me reading this book right now, but this is a rarity. So, but it was cool because the middle one ended up getting in trouble today and got to lose out on swimming because of his choices. So the youngest and middle were napping, and me and the oldest got to go swimming together, and we played volleyball in the pool, which was so much fun, and hung out. And then afterwards, while they were still napping, we both read for a long time. And then even once the younger two were up, they were playing together, and we kept reading. And we both read this morning during karate while the younger two were taking their class. So it was a whole day of reading for us, which was fun. Which is really sad when I reflect on that, how many pages I've read, considering how long I was reading. But you know what? It's okay. Even if I'm reading slow, I'm still in the race. I'm still gonna finish. And I mean, it's not a race, because who cares if I read the book or not? It's enjoyable, which reading has never been something enjoyable for me. I don't know if I've shared this before, but I haven't been like, is it called classified or I don't know. I haven't been like officially told that I'm dyslexic. However, I have very dyslexic moments, like all the time. And I was put in classes when I was younger because of it, and I was tested for it. And the problem is with the testing, at least in my case, if I really, really focus, then I don't show signs of being dyslexic because I know I'm being tested for it, so I'm like really paying attention. But through my daily life of just, you know, glancing at things or reading things or whatever, I've had issues of switching numbers, switching letters. It made learning how to read really difficult. I also was put in a class of like hooked on phonics when I was younger, and that is not the style that my brain works best for learning. I think it's called learning by rote, something like that. I'm sure my mom will correct me. Basically where you learn by memorizing things, which is how my dad learns. And they couldn't understand when I was younger. I could memorize these big words and I could spell them and do fine, but small words that you could sound out, I just couldn't understand, I couldn't get, and it was really frustrating. So anyway, I've never been like, I don't know if it's called clinically whatever, that I am dyslexic. However, I very much think I at least mildly was, and I've learned to overcome that and compensate in other ways, which thank God I have, because so growing up, I never really read that much. If I did, it was because I had to for school, or I was trying to be like my brother because he read all the time. My dad also reads all the time. So I definitely went through phases where I was like trying to be like them and would read because of that. But I never truly on my own enjoyed reading. Like, it was never a relaxing thing to like sit down with a book and whatever. So that was always frustrating because I wanted that to be the case, but it never was because it was difficult for me. So as I got older, I would only read if I needed to learn something, or if I was really intrigued on a certain topic. For instance, I recently read two or three books on the O.J. Simpson case, and I read those as fast as I've ever read anything in my life. Like, I just read them crazy fast, and it was because I was so intrigued and I just wanted to know everything about it. So there have definitely been certain books. I do really well with books that are based on somebody I know, kind of like this book is. So if it's like a celebrity or one of the reality TV people, when they write books, either about their life or about not particularly a topic. I don't do good with fiction. Fiction's not true. Nonfiction is true. right? I don't do good with stories or science fiction that makes me want to just rip my eyeballs out myself with a fork. I don't do good with anything that's like, it's fake. I don't care what is the point of this, because it's not enjoyable to me. However, if I'm reading to gain information or because I'm being nosy and want to know about certain somebody, then I could read. And through my adult life, I've come to realize, like, obviously reading is very good for you and it has tons of benefits and whatever, so occasionally reading a book, I don't know, it's really weird. The mood strikes. It's usually seasonal, so like twice a year I'll get in a mood where I'm just like, I want a book, and then I'll go get a book and I'll read quite a few books back to back, and then I'll go like a long time in between where I don't read anything because I don't want to read and I have nothing interesting to read and I'm not looking for anything interesting to read. I just go through this lull of like nothingness, and then again the season will hit again and I'm like, I want a book, I want to read. So that recently hit me. Part of it was because I wanted to do something in the pool while I was just chilling, and obviously I can't take my phone or my iPad in without risking thousands of dollar investments. So I was like, obviously if a book were to get wet, it wouldn't be the end of the world and I could just be careful, and you know what I mean, like obviously I'd be careful with my iPad, but if I drop it in, we're screwed. But if I have a book and I drop it in, like, you lost $10, you know, I mean, it sucks, but dry it out, it's fine. So it just kind of was like, that was the main reason. And now I found that when I read a certain book, then it strikes a topic of one that I want to know more about, and then I'll end up getting another book after that, and it'll last till I get bored. So yeah, that's what's going on now. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep reading today because I've read a lot. I also don't want to like overdo it and then be like, I just don't want to read for forever because I overdid it. That was pretty self-explanatory. But I am on my way home and Quentin's there, so I'm probably just gonna relax with him the rest of the day. Yesterday, after I did a review yesterday, which will be up soon, or probably already up. Yesterday, I worked out in the morning, and then later in the day, I was feeling like I kind of want to run, which also hits me seasonally. So I went on the treadmill and I did a certain, I found like a sheet where it was like this speed for this many minutes, this speed this many minutes, this speed this many minutes, and I did that, and I ended up doing, because I wasn't doing it for distance, but I ended up running a 5K yesterday, which is really exciting because I haven't done that in a hot minute. It's been a while. When I have been running, I've been running for like 1.5 miles, 2 miles most. So that was really exciting that yesterday I wasn't looking at the distance at all. I was just doing, you know, my back and forth track thing, and ended up running a 5K. So that's very exciting, and I definitely will do that thing again because it wasn't horrible. It definitely took longer than my 5Ks used to take me, but you know what? I did it, and again, I'm not competing with anybody. Like, it still was good for me, still got exercise, still was up and moving, and I can be proud of that. So I did a 5K yesterday, and next time I work out, because I think I'm gonna rest today, but next time I work out, I'm probably gonna do it again. So maybe I'll run a 5K tomorrow too, with some weights, because gotta keep them muscles strong. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say for today. I've talked quite a bit now. Sorry. Not sorry. Love you guys so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all tomorrow.